Now you're listening to wrestling news that matters, from people you want to hear it from, deep from within the confines of the internet. Covering WWE like no one else, and covering TNA because no one else will. You are listening to the best in the world, Ring Rust Radio!
Brad Maddox.
I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
The best goddamn wrestling radio show on Spreaker, on the internet, in the whole goddamn universe, folks. I'm your host, the most Donald. That's the question for you.
At the end of each sentence?
That's my question for you, Mike Chiari. I'm associating your name with that noise. What was I doing, Donald? What was I doing?
I'm sure you have been for a long time.
Oh, every time I'm in trouble with the law, I'm like, what's up, pig? Yeah, what are you going to do about it, fucker? What are you going to do, pig? My name's Mike Chiari. I'm from Depew. And they're like, God damn it.
Did you light some shit on fire and then...
Fucking Don Reek Hill over here.
But maybe comply with the police if you don't want to be brutalized by them. I don't fucking know. Who am I? You know what I mean? How come I'm the only one who seems to have any logic or reason in this situation?
I think there's many a times where people, where the police overstep their bounds, although I won't feel bad if they do so against the dude who beats women and children.
Yeah, for real. And also was not complying with police in that instance either. Like, everybody's wrong. Oh my God, whatever. But yes, I wasn't shooting, I was thrusting each time. Those are hip thrusts. Those are classic hip thrusts. You know what I mean? You can actually hear the power. Brandon Goblin, we have a schedule?
Just to get all the opinions out there, probably need to be handcuffed, face down the pavement. But tonight we're going.
The only thing I believe should be on the pavement is someone's fucking brains. Isn't that right, Arn Anderson?
Arn Anderson. Fuck Anderson. I knew that's where that joke was going. Yeah, this is a wrestling podcast, not to fucking dispute the police and Tyreek Hill. We're gonna review AEW and WWE. We have Dirt Sheet Busters. We have the fantasy things update. Fan emails. So much more.
Yeah, that was quick and concise, unlike a Daniel Jones pass. That guy's
he concisely throws to the other team all the time.
I don't know.
Did you see that pick six? That was like a second.
You're right, dude. You know,
that was one of the fastest pick sixes I've ever seen.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just like the fastest pick six you'll ever see.
And I say Daniel, I'm tossing to Mike Chiari, and I'm mentioning Daniel Jones because Mike Chiari is the Daniel Jones of wrestling opinions. You gonna apologize or what? For your Jack Perry. He fucking proved you wrong this week. That's what happened. He fucking proved
more right
you wrong. Yeah, right! Match of the year. Yo, fire the tracker up. Match of the year, brother.
I guess I'll apologize to you on behalf of Tony Khan for falling into his fucking traps with that loser.
Hold on,
Guess what? Little love traps.
Oh, we're not just going to go past you saying that's the match of the year. It wasn't even the best match in the show.
It wasn't even close to that.
It wasn't even close. It was one of the worst matches on the show.
Not even close to true. I have it
was one of the worst matches of Bryan Danielson's life.
I have it as my match of the year.
No, you don't.
That's impossible.
I legitimately do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You're
I'm
lying.
not even kidding. This and the end angle, legitimately one of my favorite things in wrestling history.
That was great, but the match itself was not.
It was fantastic. You're right.
That was one of your favorite things in wrestling history?
Jack Perry, Daniel Bryanson, and that ending sequence with the bag was literally one of my favorite things that's ever happened in wrestling.
Stupid, by the way, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
That's not true. It wasn't stupid at all. If you like Terry Funk and Ric Flair, you know the history behind it, jackass.
Okay. Did you say Daniel Bryanson?
Daniel Bryanson, yes. Meow.
What the fuck is that? A whale?
That was Tyreek Hill.
Mike Chiari.
Do you like to hear bullshit and lying? Then this is the podcast for you.
It's called Differing Wrestling Opinions. Get a clue, Mike.
This is why I don't tell people that we do a podcast.
Very fair.
Get us anywhere you get your podcast. Interact with us on Twitter at @RingRustRadio. If you want to email us, be part of the show, send it to ringrustradio@yahoo.com. Also, buy our merchandise, prowrestlingtees.com/ringrustradio. So many great t-shirt designs, including Cut Your Dick!
Ooh.
That's what AEW needs to do. They cut the wrong thing out of their company. They cut CM Punk. They got to cut the dick.
They didn't have a choice. He made the choice for them because he got fired.
You give Hangman and Swerve another match, you might get that.
Oh my God, honestly, dude, him landing his back first on that fucking cinder block. I've fallen on chairs that have padding and it hurts like crazy. like I can't even imagine. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Support us at patreon.com/ringrustradio. We can hear ad-free episodes, sign for fantasy drafts and brackets, make us watch wrestling-related movies and pay-per-views, and so much more. Also, check out Ring Rust Radio on YouTube for updated clips and Triple R Gaming. Donnie, BG, and fans of the show have been playing different games like Among Us, Fall Guys, and Dead by Daylight each week, and posting early access on patreon.com/ringrustradio well before it hits YouTube. If you're interested in joining a session, email ringrustradio@yahoo.com. Is that still alive? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, we recorded this week. BJ was not included. We said we didn't need him. We played Among Us. We played.
I think he said he didn't want to do it.
I don't know about that. We played Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
That's a good game.
I mean, listen.
Actually,
it was
I was watching All Out, and otherwise I would have done it.
Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. We didn't need you, frankly. Better time without you. It was great. It was orgasmic.
Were you Powder Toast Man?
No, I was. It was not unlocked for me.
I've seen the first one.
You play it for like a day and it gets unlocked.
It was the second. Well, no, I didn't. I never played it before playing it that night. And I literally, we weren't going to play it, but we played a couple episodes of Among Us. It was great. We had a great time. Among Us is always great. But then we should play some other stuff. Some people were hanging around. It was a little later, so I downloaded it real quick and we played it right then and there.
It's a fun game.
It's like Smash Brothers.
It's a good
Smash
phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good Smash phone.
Yeah,
I just wish it had more characters and better characters.
Yeah, I mean, the
second one should have included everyone from the first one. I hate when fucking these games do this.
Yeah,
it's like the fucking main character of every show from when we were kids.
Yeah, I mean, I had Reptar with Tommy Pickles, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
So there was some really cool, and Lucy Loud from the Loud House. Lucy loves that, so had to let the kids play it a little bit. They really love it too. So it's a cool game. But yeah, we're still doing it over there, and it's going to continue through at least January. We're hoping that we go viral.
Because people don't watch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know why you're yelling now. Jesus Christ, you don't even help it anymore. You
I'm
barely help the whole
time.
time.
Now, all of a sudden.
I know, for real. I gotta ease you off the throttle. You're just mad because no one cares that we played Outlast Trials, and that's fine. Nobody cares. Let's talk wrestling.
We're gonna put this all in order. From LW to Dark, we're about to have a discussion about the one true sport. Who's selling the finish? Does this make sense in the art? Tell me who botched, who rocked, who's cashing in on the marks. These takes are uncut, man, they're pure and they're raw. Blow up like dynamite, have you smacked down on the floor. On a collision course with the number one source. Now let's head back to the ring for the latest report. Ring Rust.
Alright guys, time to talk AEW and WWE. Bad Blood is coming up, it says here. Gunther trolls Bret Hart by telling him he loves Bill Goldberg.
It's literally like one of the best lines in wrestling in a very long time.
That was incredible.
This says Raw will be 2 hours the rest of 2024, and then it goes back to 3 hours. And it's
reportedly.
Is SmackDown going to be 3 hours? Is what I heard too.
So I don't know if that's just like the premiere.
I'm not sure about that either. That's a lot of wrestling.
I think a lot of people are making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's assuming things.
I'm gonna say this. This was moment of the year when they announced that Raw is only gonna be 2 hours instead of 3. If SmackDown is 3 hours instead of 2, that would be one of the worst moments ever. Ooh. And if Raw goes back to 3 hours after being 2 hours for the next 3 months, very upsetting.
Okay. Well, I do think Raw is going to go back to being 3 hours.
I swear to God, you're about to be 3 hours in your life.
Bro, 3 hours, no commercials on Netflix?
I don't know if it's going to be no commercials or not. But
yeah, it's definitely going to be commercials. A lot of commercials.
So commercials on Netflix.
Probably same amount of commercials.
Commercials on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, it might just be the same fucking ads over and over.
Yeah, it's how ad revenue works. They're not going to lose that.
I don't know how it works.
All right, well, listen, we have to talk about the most important thing that happened in wrestling this week, but we got to leave the WWE realm because they ain't where it's at right now.
Wait,
the
what?
money is in AEW. Tony Khan's business is red.
You can frame it a different way
hot,
to maybe
baby.
make it true, but the money is in AEW.
Oh, it is. It is dead true, my friend, and you are get your jealous hats out.
Your friends?
My friends? Where? AEW, my friends? You guys, my friends? Yeah, I got plenty.
You said Mike was your friend.
Mike is my friend.
I am?
He stayed at my home. When he came to Philadelphia, he stayed at my home. He fucking leaned on me when he was at one of his saddest moments. I carried him.
Is that what happened?
That is exactly what happened. You were terrified you weren't going to go to WrestleMania. I gave you my ticket.
Was that terrible?
And then I bought my own ticket and stuck my ass in there
You did
because
not
I was
ticket.
afraid that I was going to watch my friend
Everson
cry.
bought you the ticket.
No,
Everson's a good dude.
Everson's a great dude. Everson is a great dude. There's no doubt about that. But, you guys are kind of jerk-offs. But, with that said, we have to talk about All Out. One of the greatest pay-per-views since All In. It is one of my...
You know what? I agree with that.
One of my favorite... I will say this.
It was one of the pay-per-views since All In.
I have it as better than All In. I have it as the best pay-per-view of the year. And I'm saying this now with the bottom of my heart. It has my match of the year in it. That's
so you really just... So basically what you're going to do is every time you're going to say it was better than the previous one and it has your match of the year. Got it.
No. Because that's not what I've done. I've been very honest with these. And I'm being very honest again. I'm being very honest again. This was the best pay-per-view of any company this year. And my match of the year is on this card. I'm very honest.
Hey, when you're being honest, you got to shout it from the rooftops. That's for sure.
Well, no. Well, here's the problem. I got to say it because you called my sincerity into question all the time. I mean, I can't help that.
That's your sincerity is in question all the time.
No, yeah,
I mean, if you're
because
going to tell me
stop.
Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry's match of the year, then
that's my opinion.
Sincerity's out the fucking window.
That's my opinion. That match slapped.
Okay.
And the ending sequence was one of my favorites in wrestling ever. That's one of my favorite moments in wrestling history.
It was a post-match angle.
It's an ending sequence. It's part of the
No,
whole
the
thing.
ending sequence was the ass fucking way that the match ended.
That's not true. That's not true. It was a great
Yes,
match.
it is true.
Great match, great ending, and then there's that ending sequence, which was absolutely chef's kiss delicious. Get your D'Lo Brown heads at... Oh, no, we don't have to do that. We're just reviewing now. We're just jiving. We're just jiving. We're just having a conversation. D'Lo, leave your head alone. Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, Lights Out match. Some people went...
Lights Out steel cage match.
So, yeah, some people said it went too far. For me, I don't feel like it went far enough.
You thought there should have been murder.
Well, we almost got it. People were fucking wigged out about the needle in the cheek. Anybody who's watched death matches for 5 minutes in the last decade has seen that a bunch of times. Ricky Shane Page is the first person I ever saw do that shit. And he's like, and then I saw an interview with him and he said, oh, it's not that big deal. It just goes right through the fucking side of your cheek. It actually doesn't hurt that much at all.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all. Not a big deal. I don't know why everybody's crying. You know what I mean? Like, shut up a little bit here.
I didn't like that spot.
Yeah, of course you're not, because you're a pussy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries, dude. But for the deathmatch enthusiasts like myself, this was a fantastic match. Again, it's hard to beat this match. Somehow Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry did it, but I think this was Swerve and Adam Page's best match, and I think in my opinion, would have been at least 5 stars. So I don't know what Dave's. Did you get Dave's rating?
I don't think it's their best match.
I do. I think it was.
No,
that's
that Texas.
The Texas death match was way better.
Oh, the bleeding in each other's mouth. I like it. That was great, but I like this one better. I think I was also more hyped leading into this match because of the house burning, which was honestly one of my favorite fucking segments of the year. I love that segment.
That was fucking awesome.
It was a great segment.
Him going down and burning the man's... The best part is that the dirt sheets were all like, oh, Swerve bought this old house. And it was like...
The dirt sheets say he fucking tweeted.
No, I watched the dirt sheets. I'm saying like all the news websites, the Wrestling Incs of the world, they all covered it like it was an actual news story and not part of a storyline.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I have a question.
I even saw that a local news organization picked it up.
That's
like
awesome.
like they got worked into a shoot, brother.
I have a legit question.
Sure.
After that guy
turn your motorcycle down for a second.
Tyreek.
Comply, guy.
The crowd chanted this during the match, and I was like, oh, they just fucking swirled a future spot in the match, and it didn't happen. The crowd wanted fire. I thought we were getting a flaming table. The guy lit his fucking house on fire. I definitely thought we were getting fire in this match. Did you guys also think we were going to get fire?
I think it would have made sense.
I totally see where you're coming from, and I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
But they just literally did, like, a fucking fire spot with Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. Which, maybe, if you didn't do shit like that so often, you could make it special and do it when it calls for it.
It was special in that moment, too.
Wasn't.
It
actually.
was. That match was too short, but, I mean, it was fun as shit.
I like that match.
Yeah, I really do, too. Dave hated it.
All right. Here's the thing, Don. You want to go first?
What do you want? Just give me what I just did.
So,
I love it. I love the match. It's a great match.
All right, listen.
They're best.
Oh yeah, you did say that. It's not their best. It was good. I don't think this was match of the night. I can understand why someone would, but my thing with this is you ramp up the show. First off, the Dynamite angle is absolutely incredible. It's one of the best angles that they've ever done, or segments they've ever done. Maybe the best since like MJF and Jericho for me of them in their showcase. But when you have matches like Willow and Chris Statlander just a couple hours before, and then you do an angle with Danielson literally getting suffocated with a fucking plastic bag. And by the way, just poke your mouth, just poke a little hole.
No, that's very true. That's a great piece of advice. You just literally open your mouth and shove your finger in there. Right. And that'll allow it's very simple.
So he needs to do some parenting. But when you have those things
hold
happen,
on, what?
Yeah, you should.
He needs to tell Buddy and Birdie if they ever have a plastic bag put on their head to open the fucking
If a man named John Moxley ever comes through this door with a plastic bag, he's not shopping.
Would it shock you at this point if John Moxley did that?
No, that's why I love Moxley so much. He's turned into Terry Funk, and it's incredible.
But my point
is, he didn't care. Hold on, real quick. He didn't care one bit. He looked like he was trying to kill him, and he was just like, whatever. Like, he's just so indifferent to it. He's like, he's a kid. It's amazing.
I think he was waiting like, hey, let's see how smart D-Bry is. Fucking just poke a little hole.
Not very.
He's like, this was easy.
But when that happens throughout the show, this is why, like, when Vince would book 3 Hell in a Cell matches on the same show, it loses its luster by the main event.
Diminishing returns.
Yes, and that's how I felt about this main event, where if you didn't have Chris Statlander and Willow had a fucking awesome streak.
That was a banger. That might have been the best hardcore women's match I've ever seen.
That was awesome. I
mean,
they did a great job. But then you get to the main event, and some of the things that they were doing, I was like, this isn't better than I just saw earlier tonight. So I
liked Chris and Willow better than I liked the main event.
Really? I mean, I don't even.
I think I agree with that.
I don't even argue that.
Part of it is that it was early in the show, and it's the first thing you're really getting the hardcore element for the night. And so that's where I come from when it comes to the main event. I don't think it was nearly as good, actually, as their Texas Death match.
And Hangman Swerve was the match I was most looking forward to going into the night because of the angle, because it was the long-running feud. Like, they played it right. Like, you have 2 pay-per-views 2 weeks between each other, which I still think is stupid to do. But, hey, we're going to go back to this feud that we've had going for a long time. And so we don't need a whole lot of time to be able to build to this. So I thought everything was right about it. I thought the placement was right. I thought it was right to put it in the main event. But I agree with BG. Like, you do see shit like this over and over and over again on their shows. And they tried to up the ante even more by doing the needle spot, which I'm not a big fan of. Doing the chair shot to the head, which I'm not a big fan of. You could say you gimmick something, but you're still hitting them over the head with it.
Oh, get over it.
There's still at least some element.
They hit each other in the head in football all the time. Get over it.
Which, yeah, they try to prevent that, by the way.
Yeah, and guess what? They still do it almost every fucking play. Offensive linemen hit heads every fucking play.
Sure, and that's why they're introducing the Guardian caps, because they're trying to limit it.
I wish you wore one.
Thank you for wanting my brain to be safe.
Yes, I'm very concerned for you.
Appreciate
it's
it.
Broken.
I thought the best spot in this match was the Cinderblock spot, was the power bomb to Swerve on the Cinderblock, because I thought, like, that looked like it fucking hurt to land like that on a Cinderblock.
Yeah, that was sick.
So, again, it wasn't a bad match by any stretch. It did not live up to the expectations I had for it, and I agree with BJ. It was certainly not better than their Texas Death match, and it was not match of the night.
I agree to disagree, and it wasn't, because the match of the night was actually Bryan Danielson against Jack Perry.
I don't know.
Of all the matches you could choose, it's insane.
Incredible finishing sequence, ending sequence to the whole segment. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, the idea of Shane McMahon confirmed to AEW 100%. He's going to lead the stable. It's Shane and Mox going to lead the stable. You bet your fucking bottom dollar, big man.
Nothing about that.
100.
I already lose too many in NFL.
Yeah, but it's very fair. So I mean, this was my match of the night. I have it as my match of the year, and honestly, like I said, with is
I can't even believe
it's my match of the year. I don't know.
It's not a top PG. I don't think it's a top 100 match this year.
Well,
It's not even the top 3 on the show.
I mean, I disagree. I think it's my favorite.
I don't
match of the
think
year.
it's
maybe
probably not top
4.
5 on the show.
It's maybe top 4 if you're being generous on this show.
It's my favorite. It's my second favorite Daniel Bryan match I've seen. True.
Since All In.
No.
I think Melt's as bad as he
If you
wants
said
to.
Since All In, I'd be so on board with you.
Even Melt's is gonna struggle to fake give this 5 stars.
That's not true. That's 5.25. The truth is, again, I mean, this is just my opinion. I can only have my opinions. I think this is this might be Daniel Bryanson's second or third best AEW match.
I thought you were going to say it was his magnus opus.
Definitely his best match this year.
What is happening? I don't know if we watched the same pay-per-view. Ospreay and Pac had such a better match.
It was
than
that
this.
they was great. It was awesome.
Your
It was great. That match was.
Mel told me
Ospreay's right.
Pac had an all-time classic, and you're telling me that Danielson and Perry was better.
Well, I don't always agree with Dave. Do you?
Really?
Do you?
I don't ever really agree.
No,
with
I
him.
never do.
But I agree with him that Ospreay and Pac was the best match on this fucking card.
Huh?
The post-match angle, though, just fucking
What,
love it.
Ospreay and Pac?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
Danielson,
We gotta talk about that post-match angle too.
Getting fucking suffocated. The turn. First off, sell a fucking uppercut, please. But
That was weird.
I texted Mike and George. I was like, it'd be awesome if they fucking turn. Actually, what I said was when Christian came down and Moss came out, I would say it would have been awesome if he just stepped aside. They did something better than that. Because I really wanted them to turn on Danielson. He's been so popular, of course, that they had the whole retirement tour going on, basically. And so for Mox has been acting like a heel. So basically,
he's been a fucking monster, and he's been fantastic.
So basically, he did like a fucking Dom Mysterio where he fucking turned more heel. And I love when that shit happens. And then to have Claudio and Pac, because Pac was like a little out of place. So to have them now with Moxley, love it. That's a great
And then
trio.
you cut out the bum of the group, Wheeler.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
It's not true. You leave him alone. He's a fucking ace. He's great.
I think the best part about this is potentially has Claudio get a little bit more shine, and maybe we get Danielson against Claudio on the way to Danielson and Mox.
I think you're getting that. I think you're getting Mox. I think you're getting Nigel versus Bryan Danielson. I think you're getting a lot of fun stuff coming up here.
Nigel leading this group?
No, not leading the group. It's going to be completely separate about it. But they'll be getting involved. But Nigel will do something. I know it.
I think it's ridiculous to suggest this was match of the night. This was anywhere in the conversation of match of the year. For Bryan Danielson terms, this is as average of a match as you can have with him involved in it. It speaks to how fucking ass Jack Perry is. I was told by Donnie that he was so over as a heel. Like, oh, what a great choice. He's going to be so over as a heel in Chicago with the fans chanting CM Punk. That's really what you want. You want the fans chanting CM Punk, a guy in another company. But you know what happened? Dude stepped through the fucking curtain. No pop. Crickets.
That's not
this
true.
This dude is
That's
ass.
not true.
Man.
True.
He's a
That's
bum.
100% not true.
He's a bum.
He's not a bum at all. He's fucking
match.
talented as shit. And
He
this
sucks
is
the match. Bryan Danielson did all he could to carry his fucking bum ass, and he couldn't really do anything with it. The match was nothing. The post-match angle, that's a different story. That was good. Besides, as BG mentioned, like the bag thing, like it made Danielson kind of look stupid. But the fact that you have Moxley and Claudio and Pac turning on him, I like that. That's a really good, strong heel stable. Mox versus Danielson, like I remember, we got it for a little while when the Blackpool Combat Club formed.
Yep.
They were
Yes,
facing
we
each
did.
other. People came in and kind of made them become allies. You can kind of draw on that. Talk about how like Moxley never wanted to be an ally with Daniel Bryan.
always second fiddle. Tired of
So
it.
I'm all in on Danielson and Moxley, but this match was nothing special whatsoever.
That's very stupid. Will Ospreay and Pac did what we thought they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is a great match.
for real though, Will Ospreay does not miss. The man is a walk-in fucking match of the year contender every time.
I mean, it's kind of easy. We don't really have to sell too many.
Have any
things, just
psychology
do
or anything? Yeah.
Fucking
I mean, you can
big
say
move
that,
after big.
but you know, we're about to get Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, and I got to tell you, I couldn't be harder.
Well, here's the real question then, Donnie.
Mhm.
Is it better than their fucking viral New Japan match, or will it be not as good?
How about the promo?
No idea. I thought
No,
I thought Ricochet wasn't that bad.
Wait. Before you say any words, okay? You already lied through your fucking teeth about Jack Perry. Let's have a little honesty for once.
Okay, I think Ricochet has always been rigid on the microphone, and I think this was a little bit better than I expected, but still not great.
Did you expect it to be the worst thing you ever saw?
Again,
If you did, it was. I don't know if it was better than that.
no, I think you're being too hard on him, and I don't like that.
It was bad. It was what I expected it to be, which was really bad.
Promo bad, match will be great. This match with Ospreay and Pac was match of the night by far for me. This was the match I was most looking forward to, and they delivered. I do think the ending, as is typical with an Ospreay match, and for the most part it has become a Strickland staple as well, but it just went too much for no reason. They had a segment at a spot. I was like, fucking brilliant ending. Then they get a kick out. Here's the next one. Oh, all right. Brilliant. Nope, kick out. And then, okay, here we go. Finally the ending. And it's just like,
Yeah,
it's
so basically,
basically-
hold on. So basically, we got 3 incredible endings that you're crying about.
No.
because
Please,
that's not
dude.
how it works.
I mean,
It's
it
just that
is.
you're
It
gonna-
is.
It's not, because you know
literally
what it is? It's basically cheating.
It's not. What are you
It's
talking
cheating
about?
just to get more stars.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's how wrestling,
That is why he
modern
does
wrestling
that.
has
Every
more.
match, every wrestler can fucking do. Jack Perry was kicking out of things he should not be kicking out of for fucking Jack
Why?
Perry.
Fighting Spirit.
These people, yeah, right. So fighting spirit just means kick out of every single fucking thing that happens to you and devalue every fucking move that
You're not
happens.
devalue. What are you?
Yes,
What are
yes,
you,
it
Jake
is.
the Snake Roberts doing?
That's what it is.
It's not.
Today's Roberts. I thought you fucking respected him more
In
than
today,
anybody.
yeah, but he's wrong about today's wrestling. I'm
Okay.
sorry. It's different now.
It's
Get
not.
over it, dude. We're not on your lawn. I don't give a shit.
Let me just say about this match.
Oh, my God.
It is my match of the night, even though there was a lot of fucking Ospreay related things that bothered me in this match. But the athleticism in this match and the fucking high-risk moves were so far beyond anything else that was on this card. I'll still give it match of the night, but we had the same Ospreay issues. He fucking is supposed to have this horrible shoulder injury. He's got it all taped up. He get fucking lands on it. He's taken fucking dropped on his head on the hardest part of the ring multiple times. He just never sells it.
Doesn't
Come on,
need
man,
to,
just
buddy.
sell it.
Like he
Yes,
is.
you do. Yes,
he
he
sells
does.
it, but he's fighting through it, man. Watch New Japan
he
one
doesn't sell
time.
it. He doesn't sell it. And I agree with the thing I really agree with though is BG. Where it should have been the finish, and it was the best spot of the match and probably the best spot of the night, was where Pac goes to hit him with, I think it was a Poison Rana off the top rope, and he lands on his feet.
That was
And
sick.
it was like, and then Pac goes down and he like has no idea. And he turns around and Ospreay's standing there on his feet. That was absolutely fucking awesome. And then he hits him with the elbow, and that should be it. That should be the match, because that was perfect. The crowd was like hyped beyond belief at that point. End it right there. But then they have to do another sequence, and the crowd was not as hyped because you went from the crescendo and then you ended it at a lower point. So why would you do that?
That's
not
like
good.
a jerk
That's not
off.
good wrestling
Hold on a minute.
psychology.
I mean, you
Simply
could
not.
You could say that, but if that's not the plan before the match, what am I supposed to do? Because the crowd's popping early. I gotta go with that.
call it in the ring. That's what people have done for fucking
Macho
decades.
Man planned out matches meticulously and followed them to a T.
Sure, but he
Hold
also
on.
listened to the crowd.
Can I ask you a legit question, Donnie?
Sure. All I do
From
is
your
be
heart.
legit.
From your heart.
Oh, that's
From
all
your
I
heart.
got. My black ass heart. That's it.
From your heart. Pac hits Ospreay with the Poison Rana earlier in the match.
Yep.
Then they go to do it from the top rope. Everyone knows what's happening. Ospreay lands on his feet.
Mhm.
This is a spot that they knew was going to happen. They
Yeah,
planned
for sure.
this.
Incredible.
Right?
moment.
Okay, we're all in agreement. You don't think that, like, the crowd would pop for that?
Oh no, they definitely knew, but they thought, and they again, the crowd did go wild for the actual ending too.
Of
So-
course.
No, not to that degree.
You have fucking no parameter of saying what.
I watched it.
I watched it
I
too.
hear the crowd
They
is
popped
loud
like
as they've
crazy.
been all
They
night,
were
and
super
then I hear them
excited.
much less loud on the
See,
other.
you're just
sequence.
saying much less loud. You have nothing to back that. I did
I'm
not
sorry,
hear
I
like
didn't
that.
break out my fucking decibel reader.
I don't know. You're acting like
this
you
is why
fucking
we need
did.
Triple H.
That's why
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
acting like you did.
much less loud.
All right, and Mercedes Moné.
I fucking watched wrestling for 30 years. I think I could tell if a crowd's louder or quieter.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think you would, but you don't. Mercedes Moné, Hikaru Shida. I thought this was better than their TV match, and I thought it was better than the match against Britt Baker, so moving in the right direction.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Certainly
Shida's
better than the match
in
against Britt Baker. I'm starting to get a little worried, though. Can I tell you that?
What? It
explain.
didn't take you long to turn on Mercedes Moné,
No.
dude. Oh,
Well, did you notice the very weird part of this match or no?
her wig falling off?
No, that.
Dude.
So, maybe that's what it was related to, but Sheeta, like, hits her with, like, 3 kicks to the head, right? And then Sheeta goes to cover her, and she immediately kicks out of it, rolls far away out of the ring.
Okay.
Like, which was weird. And then
You saying she got knocked loopy?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Was she mad? Was she trying to adjust her wig? Was she not loopy? I don't know. But it was very strange. And I've been saying this for a long time. I assume you agree. The finisher's got to go.
Yeah.
It's
poop finisher. Didn't like it in New Japan when she couldn't land it.
Right. She never really hits it, and like this was the farthest she's ever come from hitting it. I feel like. Do the bank statement. That was a great fucking finisher.
To be honest with you, just do
it's
a
cool.
fucking DDT. I don't give a shit what you do. Just don't do this one anymore.
It's cool in theory, but in execution is yet to nail.
No.
So it's got to stop.
Honestly, she has nailed it in the past, and even then, not
Doesn't look
proud
that great.
by it.
Yeah.
The percentage chance of hitting that is so low.
Just do a frog splash. You fucking love Eddie so much. Just do a frog splash.
It kind of reminds me of LA Knight's BFT, which I think, or BT, whatever the fuck it is, because it looks fucking awful every time he does it.
Yeah, I don't know LA Knight for his wrestling. I'll say that.
Sure.
But his finish looks shit every single time.
Yeah, this match was good. Again, I agree with the finisher. But again, I think this was a better match than we got between the two women, and better than the last one.
They've never mentioned the Mercedes vs. Britt match since then. They erased it from history.
That's not true. They've talked about it,
is true.
several times. And literally Tony Khan out here addressing the future of Britt Baker in press conferences. So.
Okay, in a press conference. He was asked about it.
MJF, Daniel Garcia. Tell me again. Listen, you can say Daniel Garcia's personality is dull, and you have that's your opinion. That's fine. I kind of like his quiet charisma. But this match was a banger, and MJF is a boss.
I'm glad MJF won. I was afraid Daniel Garcia was going to win.
Nah, listen. There's a hierarchy. Come
on. Yeah, it was fine.
That was good.
I'd rather not see MJF with mid-carders.
I mean, I actually do think Daniel Garcia is upper mid-card talent. I'm fine with that, though. You need those guys, too. Could be like Kurt Hennig.
Stop! Do not! Ever!
Oh, my God.
Hey, dude.
Ever.
They call him Mr. Perfect. Right there.
Do
Mr.
not
Perfect.
ever compare Daniel Garcia to fucking Mr. Perfect.
Bobby Heenan's got a kid somewhere. Let's get Bobby Heenan's kid out here.
You just knew in your head. You're like, how can I fucking set this guy up? Oh, yeah, name one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Daniel Garcia's like him.
I'd like to introduce you to a show called Ring Rust Radio, buddy.
No, there's a line. You crossed it.
I cross it every fucking week, bud. Every week.
No, this was as bad as anything you've ever said. And you've called women reprehensible names.
Well, so did Artem, apparently.
Yeah, he's be shit.
Yeah,
I think he did worse than that.
Yeah, I know. Did a little slap. Chris Statlander beat Willow, and I mean this. Thinking back now, I will go through a bunch in my head as I've gone through here. This may be my favorite women's hardcore match I've ever watched.
You like it better than Britt and Thunder Rosa?
I did.
Okay. I did too, actually, but I thought that match was overrated.
I like that match too. And the other one I thought was because I went back, I still have this on Daily Motion bookmarked. Mariposa and Sexy Star, which was my favorite. And I think this is better than that.
No.
I do. I actually do.
You were calling that your match of the year.
It was my match of the year.
So this match was not even your match of the night? Is better than that?
Tell that to Jack Perry, buddy.
Well, that's because Donnie's sour on Sexy Star because of other things.
Yeah, because she tried to break Rosemary's arm, friend of the fucking
what?
show. What do you mean, so what?
She's fine. Rosemary's fine. She's on NXT. She's having more success than ever.
I think I would give Becky and Charlotte higher marks than this.
Nah, Charlotte's
their last woman standing.
And that match was not as good as I remembered. I watched about 5 of them today.
I don't believe you. You also said Jack Perry and Danielson your match tonight. I don't believe you on that, so it is what it is.
different
But this was
Statlander
great.
and Willow
This was
is
very
probably my
fun.
second favorite match of the night.
There you go.
This is my second favorite match tonight. Yeah, definitely.
It was great. It was honestly awesome, and I think both women.
And I think they're both awesome.
Very fun.
Yeah, and I love Willow. I think she has true babyface, top babyface potential.
Mm-hmm.
She's like without a Dickie Steamboat. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you one of
What
my
the
favorite
fuck?
things?
What? Come on, that's not good. You didn't like that?
No, I didn't.
Can I tell you one of my favorite things about this?
Sure, please.
Willow showed up dressed for a street fight,
Yeah.
not a wrestling match.
Oh, dude, give me knee pads over jeans.
She was wearing jammy pants.
Right.
all day.
But wasn't the regular ring attire. I love when wrestlers do that.
Yeah.
Instead of coming
Same.
just to show, like, it's like, all right, I'm going to wrestle in my trunks in the street. Like, no, why would you do that?
I honestly.
You need to have jeans and fucking
Yes.
knee pads.
on the
all right?
outside of the
It's like,
jeans
show 'em
every
like that.
time. No, like Dusty Rhodes. It's Dusty Rhodes. Every time he came to the ring, he'd have fucking jeans on, cowboy boots, and fucking knee pads on. Honestly, I'll never forget. I went to a concert one time, and this dude walks in, and he had a cup on the outside of his pants. Okay? I knew then that mosh pit
That's
was
great.
going to get rough. Because this motherfucker was like, he's like, you can hit anything but my dick. And I was like, holy shit, dude.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, until you're in that mosh pit, that dude's beating your ass, and not as funny then. Kazuchika Okada against Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Takashita. Okada won. Never a question, but the match was still really fun.
Can I be honest with you?
Please.
This match and the Young Bucks match. I can understand the Young Bucks being on this because of the post-Danielson angle, but this match especially, this Fatal 4-Way, great for a Dynamite main event. Did not need to be on this card.
We talked about the card last week, and I was like, hey, if it's just these 5 matches, all right.
Mm-hmm.
They did this. They added a couple matches. They had no
We
reason to
said
be
that.
on this
We
card.
said they would do that.
Yep.
Well, no, it's the reason
Well, I
they're
knew
on
they
there.
would, but they didn't need to.
Well, the reason they're on there is because they got to get these talents on these.
We could have been out in
pay-per-views.
3 hours.
Yeah, I know,
Yep.
but
Instead,
listen,
we have to be a
that-
4-hour show.
That's
for
what
no
you
reason.
like, and that's fine for you. I like my shows a little longer. I don't like my Raws longer. I prefer them 2 hours. But my pay-per-view events, because I like wrestling. Again, at the very core of what I like good in-ring wrestling, right? The story that goes with it is very important. There's no doubt about it. But the core of what I like is great in-ring work. And
But you know what?
this was really fun. Should it have been a main event of a television show? Possibly. But it was here, and what I got was really fun. Never in question, never in doubt about what was going on, but, I really enjoyed it.
I was going to say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, love when the shows were longer for pay-per-views. I was like, let's get everyone on the fucking card.
Yeah,
I'll play
big time.
Yes, gotta get everyone.
I still
as
feel that way.
fast as I can. Right, okay. But as an adult now, watching so much wrestling, I more appreciate Triple H's style of booking of. We're going to have 5 or 6 matches on the card, and we're going to let those ones with the best stories go on the pay-per-view, and we're going to build also around our weekly television shows so we can have big matches on that show.
I get
also,
that too.
so things feel more important.
That's the WWE
And
style,
this-
but the AEW is different.
And they could have done that by building out this championship match more over the course of a couple of weeks, and then giving you a great Dynamite main event instead of what was basically a rushed Fatal 4-Way to get onto the show.
To me, it puts Okada and that title in more of a spotlight if you have it main event of Dynamite than it does in the middle of this card with all this other crazy shit going on.
I disagree. I think being on a pay-per-view is the top thing you can be. I think even being on a pay-per-view is bigger than main eventing any Dynamite. So
I don't agree.
well, I can't believe it.
All the
I
opinions.
can't believe it. We don't agree. Young Bucks beat BCC
Yeah,
to
obviously.
retain the tag team championships. Young Bucks they're fucking put them in the
They
Hall of
fucking
Fame.
suck.
Put them in the Hall of Fame already. They are. Look at me. I mean this, Mike.
I'm not
Mike,
looking at
Mike,
you, and I'm not
don't say
listening to your bullshit.
Demolition could never.
Demolition
could
could have
never.
they would not wrestle that. type
Legion
match,
of
but they're
Doom.
better.
Legion
They're
of
better.
Doom. They would hold their own.
They were
Demolition
also
could never. Demolition could never.
I'm glad you said that.
Legion of Doom and Demolition basically wrestled the same fucking match, but all right.
Yeah. Barry Darso was not as.
He was awesome, actually.
He
You
was.
know
He
that.
was. He really was. I do know that. That's why I again. But for the record, Demolition could never. So Mike, favorite match, favorite moment, overall grade, bud.
Favorite match, I'm giving it to Ospreay and Pac. Favorite moment, I'll say when Mox and the boys and Marina Shafir for some reason turned on.
Because she's a
Brian
legitimate
Danielson.
fighter and a badass.
Oh, okay.
She's really good at
Gotcha.
jiu-jitsu.
She's good at promos too.
Well, let Mox do the talking.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Grade, I'll give it a 7.5.
That's a really
Alright.
good grade, dude.
Yeah.
Again,
Not bad.
if you add into if you take in
It wasn't
the
as good as
AEW
All In.
if you take in the AEW bias, that's like a fucking 8.5 or a 9.
Wasn't as good as All In, wasn't as good as Bash in Berlin, but it wasn't a bad show.
Please, Bash in Berlin was fucking house show in Berlin. It was more like trash in Berlin, but that sucked.
Well, it's still better.
Don't compare that shit. It's stupid.
Already did it.
BJ?
I agree with Mike.
Well, that was
Bang.
easy.
Bang!
Favorite match is also my match of the year. That's Bryan Danielson
That's
against
insane.
Jack Perry for the World Heavyweight Championship. My favorite
I
moment.
don't think you ever had any credibility in life in general,
Mhm.
but if anybody thought you did, I think they know now you don't.
Or I just have different opinions
just-
than you. It's okay to have
No.
different opinions.
It's not even possible.
No.
I literally just said it for the last 32 minutes.
It's
It's 32 minutes, I said. I don't even know what you're yelling about. I fucking love
I
it.
don't get it.
My moment is the classic hypodermic needle spot right in the as a tale as old as time when you stab your
I
fucking...
mean, that to Donnie, that is like a hometown fucking
mhm.
feat
Well,
right
hold
there.
on, hold on.
The hypodermic needle to the
tonight-
mouth.
Your match of the night is the match of the fucking year is Danielson and Jack Perry, but the moment of the night is not the turn.
Well, no, because I have to give... of course, listen.
What's happening?
From the bottom of my heart, because a hypodermic needle, it's like one of my favorite moments in AEW history is still Nick Gage, pizza cuttering, Chris Jericho.
my God.
I love...
The only reason that was good is because of the Pizza Hut commercial that came
That
on
played
afterwards.
into it. That played into it big time. But the truth is, I love like CZW, ECW style deathmatch stuff. And this is a classic deathmatch thing that's been like for the last decade or so has been used on the independent scene. So to see it on the main a main television show is I love it. I really do. And that's I'm a deathmatch guy. I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, Mike, come on. Please tell Brandon Galvin the bag. What is that? If you're a wrestling fan, how do you know that spot?
Sure. Well, as you said, Terry Funk, but and it's not. I like the turn, but the bag it's stupid in theory. Do you not agree with that?
No, because I saw Ric Flair not be able to get out of it, and if Ric Flair can't get out of it, then it's good enough for Bryan Danielson. If I'm honest. Yes, some things in wrestling do make the person look foolish when he has to stand there and wait for you to do a flip onto him. You know what I mean? But you have to suspend disbelief. And in that moment,
don't
you're
you
right.
think
you could poke the
maybe
hole.
Claudio should have held his hands behind his back?
See, that's
I was
why
fine with
Danielson
it.
needed to sell the uppercut.
Right.
That way it would have knocked him out, and then.
I was
I
fine
agree.
with
I
it.
didn't like. You
Suffocated.
know what? This might not be my moment of the night anymore. You're making a lot of good points.
Overall grade,
Why
I'm
didn't
going
he
to
not
give
sell it?
overall
Yeah,
grade.
but it is the fact that there was the turn. That is very cool.
Right.
Overall grade, I'm going to give it a 17. Okay? I'm going to give it a
Out of-
17
out of what?
out of 10.
What, though?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Okay,
Out of
there
10.
you go.
Well, what was
Um,
all in?
I think it was like a 14 or 15.
Wow, the scale is
Well,
broken.
it's like Dave's scale. It was 0. It was 1 to 5, and then it was like then it was like -5 to 5, and then now it's like -5 to fucking 8.
Infinity.
Infinity.
Mine is
That's what
I'm
it said.
doubling mine essentially. So it's it's 1 to 10 still, but you can exceed that if you are exponentially better. And this was exponential. All out was exponentially better than all in.
Some people go to 11 out of 10, but you go to 17 out of 10.
Well, I've had to progressively get more and more because they keep pushing the envelope. What am I supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay. There's nothing you
Just
can
be
do.
honest.
Nothing I could do. I couldn't be more honest.
Oh.
Mhm.
All right, guys, let's talk about WWE, something I care about. So now I'm lying. That's my lion voice. If you wanted to hear it, that's what it sounded like. So BJ, start us off.
Yeah. All right. Well, this Friday is their fucking season premiere or whatever. They're going back to USA Network for SmackDown. So we got Cody Rhodes and Soulja Cole. We need to run this back. We got a steel cage match, WWE Undisputed Championship. So now we're gonna bust out our D'Lo Brown head shakes. Who you got? How does it shake out? Will Kevin Owens turn on Cody? Will Roman Reigns return for the premiere of SmackDown? Will he help Cody? Will he help Solo? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Cody does not lose the championship on top of SmackDown. Can't
Also,
believe that
hold on
shit.
a minute.
I don't think Kevin Owens turns.
This is going to sound like
see Roman Reigns come back though.
this is going to sound like a trope, and I'm sorry about that, but there's no way anyone can interfere in a steel cage match.
It's
So
not
I want to hear you stop with the nonsense. But no, I agree wholeheartedly. I think I don't think it's Kevin Owens turning. I think it's Roman Reigns getting involved with Solo Sikoa. And then we get
We're just gonna
again.
do SummerSlam again, but in the steel cage.
Well, no.
Yes.
We get Cody
Basically.
Rhodes staring him down and being like, the two of them kind of have more of an interaction this time, as I thought they would do at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that Cody wins here. We get more fucking interference than you could ever imagine in a normal match, just with a cage involved. And Roman comes back again and goes after Solo in the Bloodline because he has even more incentive to do so now because they took him out. So I think it's very clear that they've been keeping him off TV to save him for the first episode of SmackDown on USA.
Yes, it makes sense, and it's smart booking because if you are hyping up the appearance of Roman Reigns or you're teasing it, the first episode will be making news. I mean, like on Raw, first night on Raw, or first night on fucking USA, and here we go. Here's Roman Reigns. So that's I'll get the name out there, which is good. So yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
All right, next week. Well, we don't know when this is. They didn't really.
Yeah, they haven't said it.
Confirm it, but it's Jey Uso won the Fatal 4-Way. Bronson Reed came back, fucking took out Braun Strowman from the table. That was fun. But now we got Braun Breaker against Jey Uso. The WWE Intercontinental Championship is on the line. I think we all kind of had come to the conclusion that Jey was going to win, and then he would just lose to Braun Breaker because Braun just won the championship. Jey, I don't know if he gets screwed by the Bloodline, but obviously he's going to be getting involved in the Bloodline at some point. We have to build towards Survivor Series War Games, and we all think that he's probably going to be involved there. So Braun just wins.
Yeah. Glad that Jey is going to be in this match because the match is going to be fucking awesome, obviously. But there's really just no way that he wins. Braun just won the title. And, we were talking about in past weeks, like, the Bloodline's getting involved. I don't think the Bloodline's going to get involved because we're not yet to the point where that would make sense. I think the Judgment Day is going to get involved because Jay's been helping Rhea and been helping Damian Priest against the Judgment Day lately. So I would think that they somehow screw him over in this match.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with that.
Okay. And also on Raw, one of the best moments of the night, Bret Hart comes out.
Moment of the year.
Moment of the year. Gunther
Can't
comes out.
believe you think that's
Bret Hart.
moment of you.
Everybody thought it was hilarious. Everybody
It
loved
was hilarious. I said it to begin the show, but yeah, okay.
So Gunther trolls Bret Hart, says that Bill Goldberg was actually his favorite wrestler, and Bret was a close second. And I just think that Donnie should take notes from Gunther on how to be funny.
Well, see, your delivery was pretty funny there too. It's real good. But yeah, that's very fun. I like Gunther.
Gunther is amazing.
His
as
talking.
a heel.
You like Goldberg?
I do love Goldberg, and I do love Bret Hart. So this all worked for me.
Yeah. Sami Zayn coming out and fighting Gunther on behalf of Bret Hart's honor. Fucking awesome.
Also
on behalf of Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny and what's his brother's name? Matthew. And then at the funeral, the fucking wife announces she's pregnant. I was like, oh my god, dude.
I know.
That was fucking brutal, dude. Like, honestly, it's off topic, but it's sports. Just like that's one of those moments. It's like just like guts you. You know what I mean? That's so fucked up. It's like watching Daniel Jones quarterback. Go ahead, next one.
Well, hang on, going through real quick. The reason why this is so good is because this is not the kind of shit you expect out of Gunther, and we say it all the time. Gunther is so much better on the mic than people give him credit for, and then he's able to do something like this. And the whole time he's saying this, I'm thinking he's going to say his favorite is HBK, and because obviously you'll get a reaction in Canada for somebody saying HBK over Brett. But him saying like Goldberg totally took me by surprise. I was standing and popping in my home, man. That's how great it was. It was like Roman Reigns came out on the screen at the movies. That's how good it was.
Brett's face. Brett's always his fucking little sourpuss face. I fucking love Brett.
I want to believe that Triple H didn't tell him that was going to be said.
Honestly, I think Brett probably would have not preferred to not know. So his genuine reaction would have been like fucking disgust. You know what I mean?
Triple H posted a video afterwards of like Brett coming through the curtain and Triple H is like all smiling, like shaking his hands, like great job out there, feel good, yeah, good job, great. Like acted like they're buddies.
Yeah,
like,
Brett
clearly...
walks up to me, he's like, if you weren't on steroids,
I'll tell you what though,
I think
even Brett like if his like fucking wife were to walk up to him, you would think he hates his wife too.
Yeah, no, I think that's just how he carries himself.
The way people posted side by side from The Last Dance of Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, where Larry just goes, "Fuck you, man."
Yeah. I fucking hate you. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Well, we have some matches confirmed for Bad Blood, which is October 5th. So we got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, Liv Morgan versus
Hold
Rhea
on, real
Ripley.
quick. Damian Priest and Finn Balor will be good, and I think Damian
That'd be a
Priest
good
is going to
match.
get the win. And God, has anybody found out why the fuck Finn Balor's not a fucking bigger star yet? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why have I not seen him be? Like, why have I not seen the Demon since Triple H took it? What is happening?
I wonder if he'll actually win, though. I mean, he was a Triple H
might
guy,
win.
so
Yeah.
I agree with you, Donnie. He should be a bigger star, and it's about time. I mean, we said it last year heading into SummerSlam 2023, where it was like, hey, maybe he can get a fucking shot or something.
He won the world title. Was that 2017?
2016, I think.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
You're
I
talking
do
about
think he's in a
almost
better
decade.
spot now than he's ever been on the main roster to like be elevated because Triple H liked him.
Yeah,
They
I hope
signed to a
so.
big contract. There was probably some assurances made as part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
We also got Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Championship. Agreed. Agreed about the no reaction.
No, it's just,
No, it's good.
I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
it
figure
was
out
a
how.
natural step to take.
Yeah,
I'm not a big Liv fan now.
Well, I think it's going to be non-finished city. So I agree
with you. I agree to 100% on it.
Yeah, so like, I don't know what it's going to be though, but I'm definitely going to get nothing out of this.
I do think that's shenanigans, and you build towards them being leaders for World Games Match of Survivor Series, and in order to have Liv Morgan's team have some type of credibility, she needs the championship for that. So I agree with you.
100%.
That she retains. Then what I'm presuming is the
maybe
main
that's
event.
how you build a team. Maybe somebody you don't expect helps her win.
Yeah, sure. And then Rhea
Like
starts
a
recruiting
woman,
people
because
to even
they're
out.
not actually aligned with any women right now.
Yeah. Any Goyles?
Maybe the PFS or whatever the fuck they're called helps her.
Scissor
That's what I meant.
Sisters?
PFC.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Donnie the other day.
Yeah, I definitely didn't steal for an article that made it on Bleacher
There you
Report.
go. And then what I'm sure will be the main
Well,
event.
hold on,
'cause
you
the
can't.
Hell-
Hold on a minute. Say what your idea was. No one fucking read my article.
Yeah, like you
Oh,
said,
we know.
But who was on the other side? Damage Control.
Damage.
Yeah, damage control.
Although there's only 2 healthy ones of them right now.
Asuka could be closer than you think. And we're talking
I hope
about
so.
Survivor Series in November.
She reportedly re-signed recently, which is cool.
Ooh, I love me some Asuka.
It was awesome. But Hell in a Cell, main event, I'm sure. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
Here we go.
The
I like
match
how
what we've
you-
been waiting for.
I like how you
Forward
said
to-
your dumbass lights don't mean shit to me.
Yeah, thank God. That shit still pisses me off.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen Drew just fucking owning people left and... I mean, he does it every day, but
Yeah.
today on Twitter.
I know, but I mean, I'm not on social media. But yeah, he's
So, okay, I'll fill you in, Donnie. You know, there was a fan that gave Punk that bracelet
yes,
that's
of
been
course,
central
yeah.
to the feud.
And he was kissing Dick. Got it.
And they were going to WWE was going to sell this bracelet basically, like they were just going to make a whole bunch of them and sell them.
Mhm.
And the girl that like gave Punk it was like, "Oh, I wish they would have like informed me of this or something," and did like a bunch of tweets about how she wishes, like she's like, "I don't want any money," but then she went and did 20 tweets. It's like, well, it seems like you do want money, but either way,
Hold on. She should probably get money. She's
well,
involved
they're not.
with this. It's a
They
big part of
pulled
it.
it. They're not even doing it anyway.
Yeah, because they should, because they didn't ask. What like pieces of shit.
Okay, I mean, a 2-year-old could have designed the fucking bracelet.
A child
But-
literally did, you fucking monster.
It was not a child. She's like 20 something.
She probably wasn't then when she gave it to him.
A year ago or whatever. Yes, she was.
Okay.
But she was doing all these tweets, and Drew goes, all this bitching and moaning and crying. No wonder CM Punk's your hero.
Holy shit, dude. Yo, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You guys worship that on the ground fucking Roman walks on.
I
don't
worship
think
the ground Drew
Roman
McIntyre walks
Roman doesn't hold a candle to Drew since he's been back in WWE.
They're both awesome.
Bottom line. Bottom
Sounds
line. Anything else here?
We have Patreon poll results.
Let me say something. I mean this in the bottom of my heart. Some good things are happening in WWE, but 2 weeks I've had of AEW pay-per-views that reminded me why I bleed with AEW. WWE is not as good as you act like it is. It's making money hand over fist because we have an inflated economy because of the fucking Democrats. It's true, because the Democrats, the ticket prices are so high, and if you charge the most, if you charge the most ever in history for tickets, no wonder you've made the most money.
Yeah,
you don't even have to sell them. Yeah, guess what? It's also
adjusted for
inflation.
They're doing better than they've ever done too.
Adjusted for inflation. This is record of inflation. So you better be adjusting for record inflation. Again, I'm going to ask you, Mike. No. Fuck you, Mike.
Doing better business-wise than they've ever done.
And let me ask you something.
Let me ask. It's been a lot better than it has in a very long time.
Because what's been better? The product?
The product.
Yeah, I was going to say, because not the economy. Here's the deal, Mike. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
I'm the same.
That's what I'm saying! That's not true. That's not true. We are doing worse. There is no doubt we are all doing worse. So we need a change.
I don't know what this
we
is
need a change.
We are doing worse, so please donate to patreon.com/ringrustradio.
That's true.
Support the show. You get ad-free episodes, but also the first of every month, we put a poll. Donate any type of money to the show to support us, and you get to vote and leave comments. This month's poll, courtesy of Mike Chiari, and because Donnie's a moron, also him. The poll question is, the best wrestler who played football.
Oh, yes, this. But other people had the same... Hold on a minute. You know other people had the same confusion, so I'm not total idiot.
It doesn't matter. The question was changed. It is the best wrestler who played football. And Donnie voted for us.
Yes,
and
I
he
did.
voted for Roman Reigns.
That's not true. I voted for Steve Mongo McMichael.
But Roman Reigns did not win.
I voted for Steve Mongo McMichael.
I would say Steve Mongo McMichael is the best football player who wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but he's not the best wrestler who played football.
No, I think that question. I would also have Wahoo McDaniel in there as well.
So,
well, Mike, in terms of football success, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, Mongo is tied for first. Would you like to guess who he's tied with?
Brock Lesnar.
You could also. No.
Brock Lesnar.
No.
Ernie Ladd.
I don't think Ernie Ladd got a vote.
He should have, though. You know he's a fucking great player from the 70s.
I know he was a great football player, but that's not what the question was.
Ernie Ladd did not get a vote.
I'm not going to fucking listen to the question.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold?
Nope. He was
just
tied
tell
with
us, dude. I don't give a shit anymore.
Ron Simmons.
Ooh! He was
people were going based on football.
So let me ask you a question, Mike, because I actually kind of forget now. Did he ever make it to the NFL?
No.
I know he was a Seminole, right?
He was great. He was like a Heisman Trophy contender as a defensive tackle with Florida State, but he was small for like a defensive tackle.
No, Brian Pillman was small for a defensive tackle.
Well, Brian Pillman was like a special teamer in the NFL.
But he came out of Cincinnati as a fucking defensive tackle.
Yeah, but he was a special teamer.
He
didn't really play on defense.
I get it. Mark. Go ahead.
Good?
No, I'm fucking angry.
Why?
Because you're just ignorant as shit today, dude. I'm
fucking
I'm flying high on one of my favorite fucking matches and moments of all time, and you won't stop raining on me.
And I'm looking. So Ron Simmons, he was a 6th round pick, but he never made the Browns roster.
Okay.
He played in the CFL for a little bit, and the USFL.
I just remember his run in the early '90s with Jim Crockett to prove to everybody that Watts wasn't racist. That's all. And
it's all Jim Ross would talk about is how he was an All-American football
player. Yep. And that's I think that was when what's this called? Watts was definitely heavily being called racist by everybody.
He's called that his whole fucking career.
I know, but like it was like, and then he's like, well, no, here's Ron Simmons being world champion. No, it is what it is. All right. See, we teach all kinds of history here.
Well, we have some comments. Adam L. says, over a decade in the NFL and a horseman? It's got to be Mongo.
Yeah.
Not what the question was.
Andrew Skeen says, the GOAT John Cena.
I told you, Mike, people would be confused.
Reggie Gill says, there's only one in the Hall of Fame. Alice Pandolfi says, my vote goes to the College Football Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, and I'll be damned if he hasn't shown some love. And Jason Silva has our final comment. Stone Cold is the best wrestler of all time. Therefore, that would make him the best wrestler that played football as well.
Jason Silva
He's the
gets
only
it.
one who listens.
Man, that's it.
He's the only one who listens.
Patreon.com/RingRustRadio. Get the ad-free episode of our podcast. You get early access to upcoming retros and segments such as Ricky Stenicki and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Most importantly, you can sign up for our next bracket taking place Tuesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to determine the best horror movie character of all time in our next bracket.
We're going to do the best horror movie character ever bracket.
Is that what it says?
Right.
Yeah.
You just got it.
So you know they're the best.
It's a little copy-paste error, but it doesn't matter.
Good thing you're not an editor.
That's some scary editing right there.
Mm-hmm. I'm scared that you're fucking responsible for shit like I am.
You know what? That's what happens when you do the show run at 12.
Don't worry, he's not responsible for what you write anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Now only I am.
That's real scary.
That's the heart.
All right, time to move on.
Strangeness in the latest report. You gotta call Dirt Sheet Buster. Egregious lies, anonymously sourced. You gotta call Dirt Sheet Buster. Scoop, 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 scoop. No lies, no retraction. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Per a source that's interesting to know.
Alright guys, it's time for the best segment of the week where the little boy goes away and the men go to work. It's Dirt Sheet Busters. How you feeling, BG?
I'm doing great. Donnie's not here. Melt's about to get owned, which on tap too. It's good to talk to you and not Donnie. I hate Donnie.
Absolutely.
He's a little bitch.
A couple different names going to be getting owned today too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a ghost from the past pop back up recently.
Well, if anybody wants some, they come get some. That's what this is all about. We're going to start with Wrestling Observer Radio. BG, there was a backstage fight at All Out.
Wow, that's
Hope you don't want to know who was involved.
Oh, now I'm interested.
I really, really want to know.
Yeah.
During the event at the Now Arena, a fan noticed security personnel rushing backstage, leading to rumors of a potential situation unfolding backstage. Initially, there wasn't much of the incident. They're saying initially we thought there wasn't much of the incidents because Sean Ross Sapp was going to damage control, trying to say nothing happened.
Oh.
On Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez shed light on the situation, explaining that she involved an unnamed AEW star and a member of the production team. This occurred just before the co-main event featuring Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry, prompting security to quickly intervene. Here's the quote. So before this match started, a bunch of security dudes just started... What happened was apparently there was some incident with one of the wrestlers that wasn't on this show. They were shooting something backstage, and this wrestler and a production guy got into a big thing. Some people are saying absolutely nothing, but it was big enough that security sprinted backstage. But I was told whatever it was, they apparently talked it out, and everything ended up okay.
You know, good for them.
Everything's okay, BG. But everything's fine.
Everything's gonna be alright.
Do you think that if this supposed incident occurred in WWE, he'd be working hard to get the names? Well, harder than he would typically work to do. Sorry,
I think Alv would tear that place down, actually.
Yeah, there you go. Alv says there's always fights going on in AEW, but Alv is saying it, which makes me believe maybe it didn't happen. He also has no names, no information whatsoever.
I feel like it was Melt. I could be wrong about that. You know, it's kind of messed up to just throw out names like Melt does. But when it was after SummerSlam 2016 and Orton got busted open, and there was the altercation with Lesnar and Jericho backstage, I feel like there was a lot of Melt's reporting, a lot of misreporting around that, if I recall it correctly. And then Jericho had come out on like his podcast later on and was like, "Here's what actually happened.
Hit me or kiss me.
Hit me or kiss me." That's a great line, by the way. I don't know if you already had that prepared, but if that's on the spot, that's one of the greatest fuck you lines I've ever heard. That's like pick a hand with RVD.
Brock definitely would have chosen hit him if he had the opportunity, I think.
Brock would have done both just to fuck with him.
This is from Wrestling Observer Radio. BG, guess how people backstage reacted to Swerve versus Hangman at All Out?
Oh, man. Uneasy?
Uneasy. Okay. Is that because that's what you were feeling while you were watching it?
I wasn't uneasy. I was just like...
Ready for it to be over?
Yeah, kind of.
While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez talked about the brutal cinderblock spot during the match. Alvarez noted there were people backstage who were genuinely freaking out over the match. Here's the quote. I heard there were people in the back freaking out over this match.
Oh.
What does that mean?
But the cinder block spot?
That's like the least
of all the
bad
spots
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
He stabbed him in the fucking mouth with a syringe and hit him in the
Yeah.
head with a chair.
Yeah, the end was far more worse than the cinder block
Right.
spot.
So, that shows he didn't watch fucking Lucha Underground.
For real. And it was interesting watching that because the cinder blocks that they've used in the past, I feel like they've kind of like crumbled when someone actually made contact. And then when they did the hangman, when he fell onto it, I was like, oh, he missed it. But then I watched it back and I was like, oh, okay, he grazed it.
Yeah.
But then Swerve got powerbombed on it.
That was the best spot, was the power bomb onto the cinder block. That was way
was
better
like,
than the
holy
fucking syringe
Oh,
and
yeah.
steel chair. and
That
all
was
shit.
great. And I was like, oh shit, it didn't just fucking shatter like I expected it to. I still don't think it was a real cinder block, but they gimmicked it a lot better than previously.
Yeah. Well, I think in the past they would gimmick that way on purpose. Like when Lucha Underground, when they did like the stomp onto it for like visual effect, I guess.
Well, of course, as it should be.
Right. But yeah, freaking out over it. What does that mean?
Freaking
no
out?
idea. No idea.
I said uneasy. I guess that was a little close.
It's from Fightful. WWE was happy one of its wrestlers produced viral content.
Nice, good
Do you
for
believe
them.
that?
I mean, at least one company does it.
That's true. NXT superstar Trick Williams has elevated his feud with Pete Dunne by dropping diss track titled The Roast. According to a new report by Fightful, WWE officials are reportedly very pleased with the positive fan reception. Here's the quote. Officials were said to be, and I quote, very pleased by the overwhelming fan response to Trick Williams' diss track on Pete Dunne. Their rivalry is expected to continue past tonight's show.
We gotta work on our introductions.
Yeah?
Our lead-ins. So, did that really go viral though?
Well, as much as something in NXT would go viral, I guess you would say.
Okay, I guess so.
But I just find it funny.
I saw it on Ringside News, and I was like, when the fuck did this happen? Don't remember seeing this on Twitter anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't shown, like, on the show, and I was aware of it, so. In a wrestling sense, I guess it went viral, but I just find it funny. Like, we had to quote very pleased.
Yeah.
That's the quote they got. We're very pleased with our wrestler on our show trying to get over.
Listen, man, that's how you know it's real.
Addy. This is from Viper Reports. You ever heard of this?
I have not, and I'm really curious about who the fuck this is and why they're being referenced.
I think it's not Randy Orton, okay?
I wish it was Randy Orton. Some fucking dirt sheet.
I've seen this name, like, here and there for a little while now. I don't know what they're all about, though. But BG, NXT is going to push one of its top stars as a top star.
Whoever this person is, good for them.
Lying down the bunt. That's how you get into the inner circle of dirt sheet reporting.
Oh, yeah.
According to Viper Reports, WWE has big plans for Julia with the intention of making her the new face of the NXT Women's Division. Here's a quote. Julia is expected to be the face of the NXT Women's Division going forward. She's expected to remain on the brand for a while to settle into WWE life. A while.
A while.
Yeah, you know, when she came out, got a huge fucking pop on the pay-per-view, stood in front of their women's champion, then on the next episode of NXT was literally the fucking main event segment. I was thinking to myself, I think they got big plans, and they're going to push her as a top star. If I'm going to be honest, BG, I thought from, like, the second they signed her, they were probably going to push her as a top star. So
Probably. I mean, pretty much like everyone else.
BG, this is from Worked Wrestling, WRKD.
Oh, I remember them.
Wrestling.
For sure.
WWE thinks one of its top talents will be a star. You believe that?
Dude, what's going on
Believe
here?
that?
Oh my god. I hope they tell me who, though.
They'll tell you.
Alright.
According to a report by Worked Wrestling on X, those in WWE consider Jacob Fatu to be a major future player for the company, with there being praise across the board for his work ethic, ring presence, and attitude backstage.
Did he just, like, forget to write this in fucking July?
I don't know. I know that weeks ago I saw Jacob Fatu fucking destroy the dude who was world champion for 1,300 straight days. So I thought to myself, you know what? I think they view this guy as a major future player.
Seriously,
I think they
what
view
the
him as a
fuck?
major current player.
Yeah.
He's kind
That's
of
a
like
weird
the
one.
biggest heel on SmackDown.
So strange. That's such a dumb
Why
report.
do we report these things?
I agree with it though.
Okay. Yes. There's two types of reports. There's ones that are blatantly wrong, okay? And there's ones that are so obviously right that they're not worth reporting. Unlike TNA making an offer to CM Punk. That is worth reporting. You ready for the coup de grace?
Double slam.
It's from Wrestling Observer Newsletter. I don't know if you saw this one. I wouldn't have saw this one, but I kind of dug a little deeper.
Do some digging.
This one's kind of crazy. Meltz,
It's more good digging than else does.
yep, Meltz irresponsibly suggests that some WWE wrestlers are totally cool with what Vince McMahon is alleged to have done.
I did this.
This is insane.
Yeah.
The WWE locker room's reaction to the allegations leveled against Vince McMahon by Janelle Grant has been revealed. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer Newsletter, some in the locker room are repulsed by the allegations against McMahon, but this point of view isn't universal within the locker room, and Meltzer noted that some, and I quote, some are not repulsed.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. What's the point of this? Would you say?
So, I don't know if I listened to the audio or read the transcript of it, but he was maybe it was after Cody actually is what I'm what I'm thinking of, because they had asked Cody after Bash in Berlin,
Right.
and then Melt spoke about it and was like, well, every woman in the locker room is
Repulsed?
Yeah, or was like, upset, or whatever words he was using, right? And I think Melt was kind of getting on Cody a little bit, then also defending him, because Cody's answer was like, well, we haven't, can't speak for the locker room, and everyone, like, whatever Cody said about
Basically he said, we're
didn't have
focused
enough
on
time to
fucking
kinda, like,
wrestling.
yeah.
We're not focused on that, is what he said.
right, and then Melt was just like, well, you can't speak for the entire locker room because everyone's going to have their opinions, and some people feel this way about Vince, and some people don't feel this way about Vince.
But
I don't know. So maybe it was different than what this one was.
But Meltz
he
feels
did
he can speak for the entire locker room.
Meltz always does.
So what he's suggesting is that he's spoken to everybody in the locker room to know what their feelings are on
Mhm.
this. When I would guess he's spoken to nobody in the locker room because he doesn't do any legwork on anything.
That's true.
And like the whole thing is just like it's trying to paint people in WWE in a bad light for like no reason. Like they have nothing to do with this situation. But I'm gonna
What I
tell you that
understand
some
is-
people they don't fucking care that Vince did this. Allegedly, it's like okay, why are you saying that?
Yeah, that's. I doubt there's people. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I think
This to say like that anyone would agree with what Vince did
right.
is just like.
I think I think anybody would think that the allegations that have been laid out are disgusting.
Right.
I think you could argue that some people just would rather maybe just go about their job and not worry about that, but that doesn't mean that they are not repulsed by what the allegations are. Like,
Right.
just such a weird thing to report.
He shouldn't be speaking about it at all anyway.
There's a lot of things he shouldn't be speaking on.
Mm-hmm.
Anything journalistically involved, he shouldn't be speaking on at this point. But yeah,
I am looking forward to the Netflix Vince McMahon documentary or docuseries.
It's gonna be very interesting because that was spoken about like a long time ago that they were working on that.
It's been in the works for a long time.
And then
Bill Simmons
basically
is
they
involved
had
with
to
that.
kind of switch up with everything that
Mhm.
happened in the last couple of years. So it definitely what it's going to be was not what they were planning on it to be at first. So
Yeah.
but it'll be good. It'll be good. I think so.
Mhm.
All right, BG, how do you think we did? Ooh, coming for you, Solo. All right, BG. Donnie's still not here. I say we move on. I say we do fantasy standings. How do you feel about it?
Hell yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Season 38. In last place, 16,
Sheesh.
negative 20. George Cruz. Is anything more deserving than that?
He totally deserves it.
You hear that, George? In 15th with negative 17.5, Jim Del Chapo. Doesn't sound
Sheesh.
good on the surface, but it's better than George Cruz, and Jim Del Chapo just showed up at the end and picked 5 random people.
Yeah, because Donnie refused to call him.
That was pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That was really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody that supports us as much as Jim does,
Mm-hmm.
that's horrible. And 14th with negative 15, Skinner. A tie for 12th with negative 10, Leon CK and Derek Lee.
Wow. It's a nice duo.
Leon, what's going on, buddy? Won it last year, negative 10 so far.
Sheesh.
In 11th with 5, Mongo. A three-way tie for 8th with 10. I would call this a shit sandwich served on the most delicious bread you ever had, because it's Chris Jeter, Donald Wood, and Big Money Mike.
Oh, wow. That's great bread.
It's good bread. You don't want to see what's in the middle, though.
Mm-mm.
In 7th with 15, Everson Godfrey.
Hey.
Doing good, I guess. Better than me. In 6th with 17.5, Alex Pandolfi.
Oh, Panda. Don't you pick that team.
Yeah. Tie for 4th with 20, it's James, Dick, and BG.
Hey, I think we were tied last time also. I picked that team.
Hanging in there.
I really have 40 points then. I picked both teams.
Hanging in there, BG. In 3rd with 35, George Sparrows. He hates us and the show, but he's got 35 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. We say he doesn't hate us, he just is not excited.
He hates Donnie.
That's true. Speaking of people who hate Donnie, in 2nd place with 37.5, Reggie Gill.
Oh, I knew that name was coming up.
Yep. And also, speaking of people who hate Donnie, in 1st place with 55, Stephanie Kordick.
Wow.
I drafted that
You picked
team.
that team, right? So double the hatred for the Donnie.
Yep, I drafted that team. I drafted her team last time, too, and she was in 1st or 2nd for a very long time.
Wow.
So, we'll see how that goes. But,
It's a good team.
there it is, BG. Let's move on to emails. I guess we could just end it there. All right, BG. Donnie still hates the fans. He refuses to be here, refuses to put in any effort into the show whatsoever to answer an email, but we're here and we're going to do it. How's that sound?
We're always here for our fans and listeners.
That's a fact.
Because listeners may not be fans.
Yeah, there may not be many of them at all, but we're here for them.
It's true. Only George.
We got one email this week. I think it's a pretty good one.
This
Good
was a
discussion
great email.
forthcoming. From Matt Bowers of Pain. Subject is NXT matches. Hey there, my Ring Rust friends. I've really liked hearing your lists of different moments. Thank you. At least somebody does. Today, I thought it might be fun to do your top 5 favorite NXT matches of all time. Thanks, Matt Bowers. All right. This is one that could eventually expand to one of our top 10 lists, I feel like.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what a spoiler. But
Do you want to do it like in how we do our top 10s and go like 5 and 5, 4 and 4 kind of thing?
yeah, we can do that. And I thought it was great because his was like, well, who was your favorite match? Instead, we've been doing like the best. Like we were trying to be like, objective about it. This is the first pick.
True.
So I'll go first, Mike, with my number 5. I got the ladder match from New Orleans in 2018.
That's a good choice. That was very close to making mine.
Yeah.
I have a different ladder match at number 5, and it's DIY versus AOP TakeOver Chicago.
See, that was my debate, but the other one I was debating actually was their triple threat with the Revival the month before, or Orlando, because
AOP,
because the thing is, when it comes to my favorites, I do give a lot of credence to me being there live.
Sure.
And seeing like that ladder match live put over the top of the ladder match that had such great storytelling with DIY and the ending of that. But being there for that chaotic ladder match, I just remember us all going fucking nuts. And so
I love the mix of different types of wrestlers they had in it.
Yeah. So my number 4, again, I was there for this one. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, TakeOver New York.
Okay, good choice.
Fantastic match.
I went with Johnny Gargano versus Andrade from Philadelphia.
Yeah, see, Donnie was there. Fuck him.
I know that did knock it down a peg in my estimation, but that was a fucking incredible match.
It got pegged. Yep. My number 3. See, again, we're there. We're all going nuts. Donnie's acting like a bitch. Don't give a fuck about him. He wasn't even with us, Mike. It's Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, the main event of TakeOver New Orleans. Ciampa, one of the greatest moments of all time, coming out, no theme, just booze, a chorus of booze, and that's his entrance theme. Was fucking.
That was
awesome.
so awesome.
I love that match so much.
And It's just what you want in a fucking unsanctioned street fight. They just beat the fuck out of each other. That was so good. That's my number 2 actually, and being there, big reason why for sure. I just remember how hyped we were for that match. That was months and months in the making to get to that. My number 3 is one that people do not really talk about anymore, but it holds a special place in my heart. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro, NXT Arrival, the first ever NXT takeover, essentially.
Is that
no, it was not 2 out of 3 falls. They had 2 out of 3 falls on like NXT show before they ever had a takeover. This was just like a straight up 20-minute match between them. Yeah. The first match ever on an NXT pay-per-view. The first thing ever live on WWE Network. Yep. I just remember being so excited for this. And it fucking delivered. This match was absolutely awesome. They had amazing chemistry. Again, nobody really talks about it because it was literally the first thing that ever happened at a takeover, but I think it should be talked about more than it is.
So I'm gonna blow your mind, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about it, but randomly, and whenever like Sami Zayn is kind of mentioned, I think about the spot where he dives through the fucking ring post to do like the DT. I always think about it.
I love that
match. Yeah, it's fucking incredible. That didn't make my list, but a Sami Zayn match did make my list. I reference it all the time. It's number 2 for me. Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura from TakeOver Dallas.
Yep.
The introduction of Nakamura to NXT, one of the greatest debuts of all time. I adore this match.
It didn't quite make my list. It's very much in the conversation. I just, for whatever reason, I always liked the Sami and Cesaro match better, but like, I mean, fucking Sami and Nakamura was great, and it was such a perfect way to introduce Nakamura. I think we have the same number 1.
I think it's the only choice to be number 1.
I agree.
And I think if you don't have a number 1, I don't care what your parameters are, you're kind of a fucking asshole. Yeah, it's Sasha Banks and Bayley from TakeOver Brooklyn.
Greatest women's match of all time.
I agree with that. Still to this day, almost a decade later, Mike, I want them next year to do a fucking documentary around this match. They won't because she's in fucking AEW.
Oh, yeah, I know. But if she would have come back.
Unfucking believable. It still holds up to this day. I've watched it over the past year. Perfect match.
Yep. I've watched it many times. The psychology, the storytelling, it's the fan interaction. It's everything you could ever want out of a match.
Should have main evented.
I agree. But the funny thing is, I think most people don't even remember that it didn't main event because it was that good. Mm-hmm. That was tough to follow. But
top 5 favorite.
I like it. Like I said, I think one day we might want to expand it to a top 10 and involve the other fucking guy, I guess, because he can lie about like, whatever. What was that?
Bye.
He's here.
We're
not
going.
this fucking bitch.
Bye.
Not this bitch.